Hello, it's been a while, but I have returned to give you some advice on a burning question. But first, let me reintroduce myself. My name is Kate Serkovnik, a graduate of Montana State University with a degree in secondary education with a focus on social studies broad field. Social studies referring to things such as history, government, geography, stuff like that. And the purpose in recording this video is to promote ways of effective communication along with what is important about it. Very important. And now the reason why communication is important is because this is how we get to know and understand each other. You can't really get a verse on a person by just staring at them. No, you gotta talk to them. You gotta just say like, hey, how are you? Where are you from? Stuff like that. In the classroom, you will need to take some extra steps to do this, because oftentimes people can be shy or just be like, oh man, I don't want to be here. So you gotta take some extra steps, take that leap of sorts in order to better communicate, make sure it's successful. And there are 3 ways in which you can help ensure good communication. First, be passionate about what you're teaching. You know, it's easy to go through the motions, be like, okay, turn your books to page 3. No! Don't do that. That's how you lose people. If you're passionate about something and they see you're in a good mood, you're in an excited mood, then, well, that reflects upon who you are, and it reflects onto the students, and then they start to get excited and be more interested. The secondary thing is to build good rapport or good relations with the students. This can be done through just class discussions, frequent class discussions about like what you guys are just talking about, or just asking what is their weekend or what they did over the summer when they enter your classroom, or even just a simple thing is just standing by the doorway and as every student comes in, just saying hi and make sure to say hi and remember their names as well. Not only does it teach you their names, but it helps build that rapport, and it makes you seem more approachable, which is always a good thing. The third thing to do is play to a student's strengths when designing a curriculum or assignments. If you can work in like a personal interest in something, that increase their participation. And people are more likely to remember information if they apply it to certain task or project. That is a proven fact and proven study. Now, inevitably, there's going to be challenges to effective communication in the classroom. One of these would be the environment. Like if you're in an online classroom, you're not going to have that face-to-face interaction like you would in a normal classroom. And since they don't see each other as often. Now, the best way to counter this is having open lines of communication like email, phone number, or virtual office hours. And make sure you check your email frequently. Don't just check every day. Maybe check like every hour or 2 just to make sure you don't miss a question. So students are like, I need this. My teacher responding to me. Deal with that. Second major issue could be just cultural factors of just simple embarrassment. People that come from different backgrounds or different places can have different norms. One story that always stood out to me was I studied abroad with some people who worked in like the Australian criminal justice system, and they always talked about how Aboriginals often were overrepresented in that because in eye contact in their culture was considered a sign of disrespect, but in like our culture, in like Anglo culture, eye contact is seen as a sign of respect, or not making eye contact is seen as that you're ashamed or lying about something. Also, it's very difficult to learn a new language. Some tools to help with translation include Say Hi, which is like translate spoken and written words so students can better understand, and get them to explain what they're struggling. And for like students who are just in general embarrassed, is maybe just pull them aside and get them to explain like what they're struggling with. Be like, hey man, or hey girl, I notice you're struggling on this. What's up? What about it is like confusing you? And just let them air out their grievances, and then you can work towards helping them better succeed. For countering interpersonal conflict, the key thing is remain calm. Remain calm. You don't want to get the situation worse, because if you start getting angry, then that's going to cause a whole load of bad. And let them feel heard. Make sure you hear their side of the story before then you give your side of the story. Key to de-escalation is making the person who has an issue feel heard. And after you explain your side of the position, maybe also have some relevant documents to what their complaint is, so you can show why there's this disagreement. And then we can both brainstorm and come to a compromise to better understand that. That's a key thing. Another strategy to deal with an intense situation would maybe be being a student who's very upset or very frustrated to the point where they can't focus. Just leave the classroom. Doesn't mean they're in trouble, and just take some time to relax and just breathe. Let them collect their thoughts. Having them be moved away from the stressor that's causing them trouble. And then after that, you can work with them and try and understand what was going on. The last thing to say is why effective communication is so important to the classroom. It's important because it gives students a better opportunity to succeed. They don't know what they're doing unless you tell them what they're doing. By letting them know what's expected, by allowing students to think more when they have class discussions and share their thoughts with everyone. And the last thing is also it helps build trust through frequent interaction between the instructor and student. It helps build that rapport once you interact more and more. And those are just a few of the reasons why communication is so important. Thank you.